To the west, where the African continent merges with the great Atlantic Ocean, is where the 2015 All Africa Business Leaders Awards, in partnership with CNBC Africa, complete their regional journey, recognizing rare character across the continent. Marking the 5th anniversary of honoring game changers in the region, the 2015 AABLA open their penultimate chapter in West Africa now. And now, sit back, relax, and welcome your host for this evening.
Good evening, everyone. As we say in my native language, Ekale. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the West Africa 2015 All Africa Business Leaders Awards in partnership with CNBC Africa. I'm Wole Famrewa, and it's my pleasure to co-host tonight's event, the 5th anniversary of the AABLAs. Tonight, we celebrate business excellence in West Africa.
Indeed, an honor, Wole. I am Esther Awuni, and welcome to another year of honoring business leaders in West Africa. Welcome to the West Africa Judging Committee, His Excellency Kosi Pilani of Bakatla Bakafela, His Highness Mohammed Sanusi II, CON Sarkin Kanu, fellow members of the media. Distinguished guests, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you to the 3rd of 4 award ceremonies that make up the 2015 AABLA season. It started in East Africa, then moved on to Southern Africa, and this evening, in West Africa.
So tonight we celebrate those West African business leaders who have made a distinctive contribution in their respective sectors by demonstrating accountability, integrity, and innovation on the continent. We salute the pioneers, the game changers in the West Africa business community. The AABLAs are proud to once again tell the positive story of Africa's growth drivers.
It is my pleasure to introduce the Executive Director, West Africa of the ABN Group, Frederick van der Wyver, to do the official welcome.
Thank you, Esther. Thank you, Wole. You're wonderful. You look wonderful. His Highness Mohammed Sanusi II, CON, Sarkin Kano, Excellencies, future ministers, captains of industries, honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight at the Eco Hotel for a very special evening, the CNBC Africa All Africa Business Leader Awards. The last 12 months were very challenging. We had the Ebola, but we fought it back. We had the Nigerian election, it went very well. West Africa continues to grow and is also in peace. The individuals we are celebrating tonight are unique business leaders. They've had that vision of future success. They stay on course, they take risks, they fail, they stand up, but they always stay focused. The bar is very high if you want to make it tonight, especially in this vibrant economy. The people we honor this evening are not just the winners, but all the finalists, because each of every finalist is remarkable. Thank you for being part of the AABLAs and allowing us to spotlight your successes and share them with everyone who is watching and learning from your accomplishments and the way you have overcome the challenges. Tonight is West Africa's Business Night. It's not just the West African story, it's the story of the African as a whole, a continent on the move. Thank you for being with us. We are first in business worldwide. Now, I would like to invite and to represent our Vice Chairman Rakesh Wahi, our Group President, Professor John Granger. John?
We're now in the 5th year of the AABLAs, and the AABLAs have become the most credible business leaders awards on the continent. These awards are a tribute to the captains of industry who have made a qualitative and quantitative difference to businesses, industries, and communities that they serve. You may ask yourself why some companies stand out head and shoulders above their competitors. even if they are operating under similar conditions? The answer is quite clear. Outstanding and effective leadership is the determining factor in success. Young people from Africa need to take their rightful places in boardrooms across the world and to assist in making decisions which will benefit Africa as well as global partners. As both a major producer and a major consumer of goods, the needs of Africa must be taken into account internationally. Africa is poised for a giant leap forward into a future global marketplace. On behalf of our founder, Vice Chairman, Mr. Rakesh Wahi, and the management and staff of ABN Group, I would like to thank every one of you for your continuing support, and we look forward to consolidating your partnership with us in the years ahead. And finally, to each and every one of you who've made the time to share this important evening with us, thank you for being here.
Professor Granger, it's indeed a great pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for making the time to participate in these celebrations. Before we move on with tonight's proceedings, I'd like to call up on stage Minister Designate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the former governor of Ekiti State, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, to deliver a keynote address. A warm round of applause for Dr. Fayemi as he comes.
Good evening. If what we read on the pages of Forbes magazine, which is one of the affiliates of the organizers of this event, is anything to go by, I should consider it a privilege to speak to a room full of people whose combined net worth can facilitate the fulfillment of all the newly adopted Sustainable Development Goals in all of sub-Saharan Africa. From very early in life, I have been a consistent advocate of an egalitarian society. I have put in modest efforts both at the barricades as an operative in the pro-democracy movement of yesteryears, and I've also been privileged to serve in government. Central to all of my exertions has been the desire to see the democratization of economic opportunities and life more abundant for every member of society. It is my hope that the leaders being honored tonight represent the very best of this notion of a progressive hybrid personality. And I would therefore like to close by celebrating the spirit of ethical enterprise, professionalism, and creative strategic visioning that those receiving awards here today represent. And I hope some of you here will consider bringing such values to the service of the country and the continent in the public sector in the near future. I thank you for listening.
Very instructive words from Dr. Fayemi. Thank you so much, sir. Tonight's winners will go on to compete in the All Africa finale on November the 13th, hosted by Bakafela in South Africa. Let's now discover a little more about the finale, of course, and of course the hosts of the finale itself.
The AABLA Bakafela is a community of over 350,000 people in the northwest province of South Africa, and the region is well known for its rich mining, agricultural and tourism resources. The AABLA Bakafela Traditional Authority represents the interests of the community and acts in support of the chief, Kgosi Nyalala MJ Pilane. The primary objective of the authority is to develop strategies and implement projects aimed at the economic and social development of the region and its people.
I must first explain that according to our approach, the focus is not only on the mineral reserves or resources. We want to sell the concept that land on its own is a resource. And it could be a resource in either mineral resources, but there could also be agriculture, there could also be tourism. So all these together, it's an opportunity. Therefore, every country, every rural community that has got land, already they've got the base that they can start off on with. So I think the AABLA, or what's an opportunity for us, we saw it as something that we could use to strengthen what we have already started. which is the development of the region. And therefore, if there are awards, obviously we would like to see that our people eventually in the future, they can become part of this, because that is the encouraging part of it and motivation for our people to become the best people in both business and economy.
Let's begin with the main event with our first category this evening. The nominees include a person behind a Nigerian oil and gas company and the entrepreneur driving the first mobile health platform in Central Africa. But first, let's take a look at what the judges were looking for in the 2015 Young Business Leader of the Year West Africa category presented by Lancaster University, Ghana.
I think for the young ones, we were concerned about potential. We were concerned about, we didn't want a flash in the pan situation where there was something that was in there that will be there going into the future. And we looked for a certain level of innovation always. We looked at the potential of the individual to have a lot of resilience going forward, a sense of continuity, so that 5 years' time we'll say, oh, 5 years ago you won this award and we're glad where you are today.
Resilience, fortitude, versatility, and ability to stay the course and stay focused. We saw this, but more than anything else, that makes an impact today or makes a long-term impact in the future.
The Young Business Leader of the Year. This is a category that is extremely important to us, and I feel like this is a category that we spend a lot of time on. Number one, it is a category that we want to make sure that it is someone that is leaving a legacy. It is someone that is innovating and making a meaningful impact, not only in their sector, but also at large. And also someone that we see that can actually expand outside of either their country, their region, but really across the continent and possibly across the globe. And we feel like this is really an opportunity to give a young entrepreneur a platform to be recognized locally, but also globally. And so this is one of my favorites.
At this point, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome on stage, representing the sponsor for this category, Professor John Granger from the Lancaster University, Ghana, to assist in announcing the 2015 Young Business Leader of the Year West Africa Award.
The finalists for the 2015 Young Business Leader of the Year, West Africa. Ahonzi Unigbe, CEO, Petrolon Energy Nigeria. Alan Teff, Founder and Executive Director, Gifted Mom. Yatunde Rubesan Omedi, CEO and Founder, Yatunde Global Consulting.
For the 2015 Young Business Leader of the Year, West Africa, Alain Teff, Gifted Mom.
It's actually a very great feeling, just moving from one award to another, and it justifies the quality of the work we're doing on the ground with Gifted Mom. And when we were received by the Queen during the first edition of the Queen's Young Leaders Award, we actually launched our technologies at Gifted Mom to impact 5 million lives across Africa. And receiving this from CNBC is actually amazing, and we just want to share this with the people we are working with.
Congratulations to the winner. Now, as the following nominees know all too well, perseverance pays, and these richly talented entrepreneurs nominated tonight are not overnight successes. They are all seasoned business people who've had an instinct for an opportunity and business probably since their youth, and I strongly suspect that they will continue to drive this passion well into their old age. In this, the 5-year anniversary of AABLA, let's take a look at what the judges have to say about the 2015 Entrepreneur of the Year West Africa category presented by Sea Harvest.
Entrepreneur of the Year was an area where we looked at the sustainability of the ideas, its resilience, again, just like any other category, but more important, the fact that this idea is young and is novel. So it has novelty, it has resilience, it has sustainability, right? And it's competitive.
The Entrepreneur Category of the Year is a category that spans across all age groups, all entrepreneurs, and I think this gives young entrepreneurs an opportunity, but also older entrepreneurs an opportunity. And in this category, we're always looking for people that are building businesses that will last long. We're looking at profitability, of course, but we're also looking at social impact again, and how is this business actually going to live beyond the people that have created it. And so this is another category that I feel like the selection team always spends agonizing hours on making sure that we get the right person.
For the entrepreneurial category, we were really looking for people that had this opportunistic attitude. You know, entrepreneurship is about taking advantage of opportunities and trying to turn it into some solid success. And that was always at the back of our mind, that to what extent was there innovation again, to what extent was there creativity, to what extent was there getting up and going and grabbing what's available, having the intuition to see possibilities, being, I keep using the word creative, because we stay in an environment today where a lot of creativity is required. And on the African continent itself, I think that is what puts us as par with the rest of the world, in the sense that creativity is not based on generations, it's just based on what you can do today.
The finalists for the 2015 Entrepreneur of the Year. West Africa. Obina Ekezi, founder and MD, Wakanawo.com. Paul Orochiaka, CEO, Alden Limited. Swadi Martin Leke, founder and CEO, Isarwa.
And the winner of the 2015 Entrepreneur of the Year, West Africa, is
Abina Ekezi of Wakanawa.com.
Supposed to account for people 6'10" on this mic. Good evening, everyone. His Royal Highness, members of the High Table, one of our mentors, Chief Tony Elumelu, Mr. Philip Odoza, the rest of the extinguished guests here and other nominees. I want to say thank you very much, and I'm very honored to receive this award. I have, first of all, I'd like to introduce my partner, Mr. Ralph Tamuno. We started this business together. I have my team there, all my colleagues, from our CTO. To be quite honest, you know, you go to work every day and you just try your best to create value and to innovate and to create solutions, especially in what we do. I don't know if everybody knows what we do, but we're an online travel company. My background was as a professional basketball player in the United States. So I played in the NBA, went to the University of Maryland, and then I retired in 2007 and I moved back to Nigeria. And a lot of people ask, how did you transition from being a professional basketball player to starting an online travel business? And it was just the fact that I used Expedia for many years while I was living in the United States. And when I came back to Nigeria, nothing like that existed. And when I realized that there was a lot of innovation, a lot of work going on in deploying internet and payment gateways and debit cards and electronic transactions, I saw that the future of e-commerce was on its way to taking a dominant role in the Nigerian economy. And that's when I told my partner here today that we must build something to serve the purpose of making easier travel planning for the Nigerian market. And today we have grown tremendously. We're now the largest travel company in Nigeria and Sub-Saharan Africa. We're expanding to the United States, UK, Dubai, and almost 23 African countries over the next 3 years. So our service is unique, it's innovative, and every day we strive to get better, especially in the area of customer service, because that's one of the biggest challenges that you have is making sure you put the necessary infrastructure and the people in place and the technology in place to continue to provide the kind of customer service that will keep bringing you new customers and retaining your existing customers. So with that said, I'd like to thank everyone. I want to thank all the sponsors. I want to thank CNBC. Last time I was a runner-up. Today we're winning. So that's great. So thank you very much. Also, last but not least, I want to thank my parents. They're not here today, but I also want to thank my lovely wife. You know, without having a strong woman taking care of the family is very difficult for any man. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And, you never really think about the recognition and the award. You just, you're so focused on what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And for me and for the rest of the team, with my partner Ralph Tamnon and the rest of my team and everyone that's part of Wakana, we're very excited about this because this goes to show that people recognize what we're doing and see us as a leader and an innovative company. And I'm quite excited about that. So, but you know, like everything else, you have to just keep on remaining focused and keep on getting better every day and strive to improve your services. First of all, identify a solution. I mean, anytime you see a problem, that means there's an opportunity. And with that opportunity comes the issue of how do you solve that problem. It's easy to sit down and complain, but if you complain, how is that problem going to be solved? And here in a country where we have millions of young people graduating from college every day, coming to the job market, who's going to create the jobs? We need entrepreneurs that are going to create jobs.
We must apologize to Mr. Ekezie. I think the organizers didn't really think about a 6'11" person speaking here. But it's not every day you get that. Anyway, let us move on with tonight's event. I'd like to move on with a quote. African-American entrepreneur, actually, and philanthropist and self-made millionaire Madam C.J. Walker once observed, "There is no royal flower-strewn path to success. And if there is, I haven't found it, for if I have accomplished anything in life, it's because I have been willing to work hard." It's this spirit that makes the 2015 Business Woman of the Year West Africa. Let's see what the judges were looking for in this category.
The Business Woman of the Year category is a very special category. It's about a woman that exemplifies leadership. It's about an innovator. It's about a pioneer. And it is really about people that are inspiring the next generation of women to go into whatever business they want to be in. And so this is really a special category for us. And I think we do look beyond just one element or one criteria when we do this selection.
This individual had two segments of achievements. One was as an entrepreneur. Yes, she was a change agent in transforming an industry which was a company which was totally moribund, family business, and made it profitable, instituted governance, and got the company listed. Then secondly, went into a corporate multinational with footprints across all of Africa and made a success of this. And quite frankly, there's no question in our mind that this was a deserved winner in this category.
I think again we're looking for the Business Woman of the Year. We're looking at a situation where remove the gender and actually say, is this an Amazon? Is this somebody who is really making a difference? Is somebody who's leading an organization? Again, there is a strong strain and thread of building great institutions and having institutions that are having an impact across the African continent. Having an institution that's employing people on one hand, but also trying to make a difference on the continent, even to a certain extent being very, very global in their attitude and having the ability to face any global competitor. So I think, women or not, the fact is they're just great individuals, and that influences us a lot.
All right, to unveil the winner of the 2015 Business Woman of the Year West Africa Award, please welcome to the stage Mary Ojulari, CFO for West Africa at the ABN Group.
The finalists for the 2015 Business Woman of the Year, West Africa. Adenike Bunlesi, Founder and Chief Responsibility Officer, Rough and Tumble. Arapeju Adibajo, MD Lafarge Wapco. Letitia Osafo Ado, CEO and MD Samba Foods. Mimi Akinkube, Founder and CEO Bestman Games.
And the winner for the 2015 Businesswoman of the Year West Africa Award is Adepeju Adebajo, Lafarge Wapco.
Unfortunately, she's unable to join us today, the winner, but we do have with us Mrs. Eniton Oyenuga, General Manager, Human Resources at Lafarge Africa, to accept the award on her behalf.
Good evening, everyone. I am extremely delighted to be accepting this award on behalf of Mrs. Adebajo. When we found out that Peju was being nominated for this award, I had asked her, because apparently she's unavoidably absent at today's event. I had asked her what exactly she would have wanted to be said on her behalf. She would also like to dedicate this award to the African woman, to our grandmothers and mothers for paving the way, and to all our sisters represented here today. Thank you, everyone, once again, and God bless you all.
It's time for a short ad break. When we return,
and the winner of the 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award West Africa goes to...
And the winner for the 2015 Business Leader of the Year West Africa is...
And the winner of the 2015 Philanthropist of the Year West Africa.
Now, the next two categories, we're quite excited about them. There are two new categories added to the AABLA this year, namely Philanthropist of the Year and Industrialist of the Year. Now, the AABLA has always been about recognizing leadership of the continent, not only for the part they play in growing economies, but also for what they give back and leave as their legacy. The Philanthropist of the Year category completes the AABLA lineup. Let's see what our judges were looking for in the category of the 2015 Philanthropist of the Year, West Africa.
I think it was accumulation of profit and accumulation of capital without giving back to society at the time when we were talking about sustainability principles. It was totally devoid of reality. So we insist that we want to know and make entrepreneurs and investors to realize that making money is one element, but giving back to society is even more important. We looked at people like Warren Buffett, Gates, and other foundations. They give back to society. And so they just don't make money for the sake of making money, but they make money and ensure that the society is a better place in which we live.
Certainly, we find that people who do play in this area, who are philanthropists, they start with that and then they end up formalizing it with foundations and so on. So we were actually on the lookout for people who really were doing philanthropy from a much more enhancing point of view, not just giving away, but actually giving in a very meaningful way. And when we looked at the contenders, we said to ourselves, okay, surely these are individuals that have sacrificed time, sacrificed opportunity to create something that is new, something that has an impact on the continent, something that was giving value to the continent and touched literally most countries. And it's almost like a very sophisticated gift that was being given as opposed to a handout.
The Philanthropist of the Year is a new category that we've added. And this category was added because we felt very strongly that there's been an evolution in the philanthropic community in Africa, and more so even in our region. So what we wanted to do with this category was recognize people that are giving selflessly to furthering the African mission and African goals. So for example, we wanted to look at people that are not only giving back, but also creating new areas in which they're giving back. So people that are giving back based on their strengths, based on what they know, and based on what they want to see happen. So people that are making huge commitments in education, people that are making strides in health. We found people that were really dealing with some serious crises across the continent. And I think for us, this was really a highly motivational category that we wanted to add. And also we wanted to encourage more philanthropists to get involved and commit to furthering the African dream.
Now to present the award for the 2015 Philanthropist of the Year West Africa, please welcome on stage Ragash La, Executive Director, Lancaster University, Ghana.
The finalists for the 2015 Philanthropist of the Year. West Africa. Fred Swaneker, Founder and Chief Executive Chairman, African Leadership Academy. Patrick G. Aoua Jr., Founder and President, Ashesi University College, Ghana.
Winner of the 2015 Philanthropist of the Year, West Africa, Fred Swaneker, Africa Leadership Academy.
Now, unfortunately, Mr. Swaneker is unavailable this evening, but I'd now like to call up Mr. Tunde Folawiyo to accept this award on his behalf.
Your Royal Highness, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it's most unusual in African culture for a younger person to be sending the older guy to collect on his behalf. But this is one award I'm happy and proud to be representing Fred at, because when I met him about 7, 8 years ago, and he had this idea of creating a leadership academy to train the next generation of Africans. It sounded like a far-fetched pie-in-the-sky idea, but I'm proud to say today, I sit on his global advisory board, which is actually why I'm here, but I'm proud to say he and his colleagues have raised in 7 or 8 years over $100 million in donations, contributions to train that next generation of African leader. So it's a well-deserved award, and on his behalf and on behalf of his colleagues, I thank the organizers, thank all the other nominees, and thank most especially those who have given to make the ALA what it is today. Thank you very much.
The second of our 2 new AABLA categories is the 2015 Industrialist of the Year West Africa, sponsored by EcoBank. This category represents a visionary of business who has participated in the beneficiation of raw materials, manufacturing, and/or enriching infrastructure. There is no doubt that this category is an employment creator, an economic contributor, and forms a cornerstone for the future of Africa business.
I think that we're looking for people that are strong in production, people that are putting a lot in that value chain that we all talk about these days of adding value at every stage, but from a very strong manufacturing, production, technology, and real hard metal type of situation. Not so much in service, but certainly producing things and transforming things and creating such tremendous value to the system that it actually uplifts the whole society because of what is being produced, both the process of producing and what is produced at the end of the day. That was very strong in our minds.
And industrialist is about economic value add, real sector investment, employment of people, and actually not polluting the environment. So you have non-pollution, you have job creation, you have value add, and we have actual what we call competitiveness, domestic, regional, and global competitiveness. In this particular segment, we selected somebody who is on the list. Everywhere you look, whichever way you look at it, this guy is a success. Not only in West Africa, in the whole of Africa, and globally.
I think the Industrialist of the Year for us is a category that we felt was important, not only to recognize someone that is influential, that has created an industry, that has created something that is bigger than themselves. And one of the areas that we wanted to really look at are who are the people that are leading the way in manufacturing, which is basically people that are leading the way in Africans creating products, not only for Africa, but also that can be exported. And we felt like this was an important category because most places across the continent are importers, but we wanted to not only have people that are creating sustainable businesses, but also people that are actually creating businesses around export. And I think this is really this was some of the weighing that determined who the Industrialist of the Year is for this category.
For the 2015 Industrialist of the Year West Africa, Aliko Dangote Group.
Unfortunately, Mr. Dangote is unable to join us this evening, but we have on the stage right now Mr. Knut Nwonme from the Dangote Group to accept this award on his behalf.
Your Royal Highness, sponsors of this great event, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, Alhaji Aliko Dangote was not able to be here today, so I'm very honored as one of his directors to receive this award on his behalf. The difference between us and others, we believe in this country, we believe in this continent, and the rest follows. That's the biggest difference. When you want to build up industry, when there's no power, when you want to go through a lot of problems, obstacles, and do something different from others, well, then you start industry. We have started to scratch the surface, and the more we do, we are still only scratching the surface because the potential and the need is so enormous. So we have shown the way, and we hope others will follow. And if they don't follow, we are just going ahead and do what we think is the correct thing to do. And on behalf of Aliko Dangote, thank you very much for this award. And we are not going to disappoint any of you. And as we said, let others follow. We will show the way. Thank you very much.
I also wondered why there were no nominees, but after the winner was called, of course, no competition there. Now, it must have been very difficult for the AABLA judging panel, West Africa, to select a winner from this year's formidable group of talented individuals, great business people, all of them. Now, these are undoubtedly winners who are very proud to be called West Africa's Business Leader of the Year. Before we hear from our judges and reveal the finalists, let's hear from our sponsor.
We feel honored to be part of the All African Business Leaders Awards. Recognizing African business leaders is important to further strengthen the spirit of entrepreneurship, innovation, and creativity in the continent. Africa is changing, and we Bosch are proud to be part of this development. Our vision is invented for life. Wherever we operate, we strive to provide innovative product and solution to improve the life of the people in areas such as power, construction, and manufacturing industries, for example. As in regard to Africa, we see Africa as a growth region for us. Currently, we operate in 9 offices in 9 countries, including Nigeria and Ghana. And more offices are to come. The idea behind the All African Business Leader Awards, which is encouraging the spirit of entrepreneurship, creativity and innovation, that idea really reflects the values of Bosch. We really have a lot of respect for the nominees in the category Business Leader of the Year. We wish them all the best for the award and beyond the award.
Now here are the judges and their insights into what makes the 2015 Business Leader of the Year West Africa, presented by Bosch.
The Business Leader of the Year, we're certainly looking for somebody who has got a strong impact from an institutional point of view. We've always got this at the back of our mind, how Africa-wide the individual's activity has been. We look at the kind of organization they've run and the impact of that organization on society. We try to see the employers of labor and the kind of way and manner in which they've employed their labor. We try and look at the extent to which their organization has been very innovative and has sort of maybe redefined the particular terrain that they're working in, the extent to which they've sort of moved the organization to the next level, and as a result of that, the general impact on society across the continent.
We looked at various parameters, and in this particular case, we went into an industry which we had actually foreclosed in the past, in which we didn't even look at anybody in that industry, because we thought they were not that competitive or subsidized, basically. This time around, we looked at its profitability, we looked at its size, we looked at its growth, we looked at its impact on social contribution, we looked at its impact on other areas like art, right, and its Pan-African strategy and footprints, and its impact across all of these places, even in the face of things like Ebola, resilience. So these were the issues that we took into consideration before picking up. It was a very, very competitive and strongly, fiercely competitive category.
The category of Business Leader of the Year is a category that we don't just look at profitability, we look at social impact, we look at how this business is giving back to the community that it operates in, we look at how the leadership is working, how the people in the company are empowered to make decisions. These are all the things that come together that help us select the Business Leader of the Year.
Ladies and gentlemen, please can I call upon once again Mary Ojulari and Ghislaine Numbesi, Managing Director of Robert Bosch West Africa, to assist with announcing the winner of this award.
The finalists for the 2015 Business Leader of the Year. West Africa. Sam Darwish, CEO and Executive Vice Chairman, IHS Holdings. John Bono Cisse, CEO, Sierra Rutil. Segun Agbaje, CEO and MD, Guarantee Trust Bank.
And the winner for the 2015 Business Leader of the Year, West Africa, is
Segun Agbaje, GT Bank.
Good evening, Your Highness, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I think the judges have basically said it all. I think I'm one of the luckiest people on earth. I have one of the easiest jobs in the world. I run one of the best organizations in the world. I work with great people. I have a great board. I work in a great country with 170 million people, blessed with potential. So all I have to do is just kind of put it together and make things work. I'm a lucky person. I'm completely humbled. I never ever thought I'd be African business leader. You know, when Your Excellency was governor, he basically approved my appointment. I thought I would just come on the back of two great CEOs, kind of hold it together, but things seem to be working. I still think the best is yet to come for Guarantee Trust. So maybe I'll continue being lucky. The harder you work, the luckier you get. So maybe one day I will be African business leader. Thank you very much.
First of all, you have to have a very simple strategy. You have to make sure that everybody on the organization understands what you're doing, what you're trying to achieve. Make sure you have the right human capital, nurture it carefully, make sure people understand, let them know how important they are. And I think once you put all those things together with the type of continent we do business with, in which everything is still so unexploited, and there's still so much to do, that with that type of energy, that type of focus, and I think a lot of people take something for granted as well. If you do business in Africa, and you're also going to try to do things properly, it also gives you a competitive advantage, and I think that's all we try to do. At all times we try to do our best, and we try to do it properly, and we have this little thing which we say we always like to play by the rules.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the point to deliver our final award, and it pays tribute to those who have made a remarkable impact on their industry and country over a period of a lifetime. The All Africa Business Leader Award judges identified a leader with exceptional character. This person is bold, and this is indeed a celebrated award that goes to an individual who has contributed to business growth, innovation, and the development and creation of the highest and quality standards for a product or service over a lifetime. So let's see what the judges were looking for in the category of the Lifetime Achievement Award presented by IHS Holdings.
Certainly consistency, certainly being able to be, should I say, a superstar in whatever it is that you've done over the years. If you look at any particular individual, and when we were reviewing it, we were saying to ourselves, to what extent has this person excelled at every stage in their life, wherever they've been at any point. So we looked at the different stages, and we saw a bit of excellence. At every step we saw excellence, another step we saw excellence. And so we just felt that, okay, look, this for us, this person would fit into that particular category very well.
The Lifetime Achievement Award is a category that we look at very carefully, because we want the person that evolves from this selection process to be someone that we all know what they have achieved over their lifetime, the contribution they have made to their nation, to the world, and also someone that can continue to inspire all of us to achieve and push ourselves and do more than what we think we can do. And I think this year we've been able to identify someone that exemplifies everything that we think of achievement in our region, and also that the global community will agree with us is a pinnacle of achievement. So we're very excited about this category.
Just not success in one sector which is focused, but success across many segments of society. So this individual has been successful in enterprise, successful in public life, successful in society. So has become a role model for people to know that success, the qualities of success, can transcend any segment of our society.
All right, this time I can assure you there are no nominees for this one. Let me now welcome to the stage to do the unveiling. Again, Mr. Freddie van der Vijver and Mohammed Darwish from IHS Holding to present this very rare accolade to the notable winner from West Africa. Please put your hands together as they come.
And the winner of the 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award West Africa goes to Sanusi Lamido Sanusi.
Sanusi Lamido Sanusi is a man synonymous with banking in West Africa. He rose to the position of CEO of First Bank PLC, the largest bank in the country, in 2009, and was appointed the 10th governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria that same year.
I think a lot of the time the questions are not even of austerity, but of what type of spending you have. In many places, you can actually reduce or reallocate spending and redirect it into areas that address the structural problems rather than advocate an absolute decline in the level of fiscal spending. There are things you can't control. I can't control what happens to me. I can't control what people do to me. I can control what I do. You know, you can be thrown out of a job for doing the right thing. You can be thrown out for doing the wrong thing. You can be thrown out for doing nothing. If you're going to lose your job, you're going to lose your job. So you can die a brave man, or you can die a coward. You'll still die.
One of Nigeria's most notable leaders that has left his mark on the world of business, earning him the AABLA 2015 Lifetime Achievement Award for West Africa.
We have this great country that has specialized in importing what it can produce and exporting what it does not produce. We are Africa's biggest oil producer, but the biggest export of the UK to Nigeria is petroleum products. We don't refine our own crude. We don't have a petrochemicals industry. We burn our gas, and we don't have enough electricity. We produce cotton and import textiles from China. We have a large tomato belt, and we import tomato paste. I do hope people will have the courage to know that loyalty is about telling your boss the truth. I do hope people will remember that ultimately, if you're part of an administration and you do not speak when you should, then you have forever forfeited your right to speak. We're very lucky that Nigerians have decided to vote for an administration that they feel can change the course of things. Certainly, if you asked anybody in Nigeria several months ago, what are the two biggest problems you face, and he would say security and corruption. And without a doubt, the best person to deal with security and corruption would be a retired general who has a reputation for fighting corruption, and I think we made a good choice in that respect. But he needs help on the economy. And it is extremely important to remember that even if you have security, even if you fight corruption, you still need to have power. You still need to have jobs. You still need to build agriculture. You still need to attract investment. And that cannot be done if we continue dismissing the views of investors, if we continue talking about foreigners and people who want to bring money into this country as if they just want to come in and as if there's something wrong with coming in to make a profit in an environment, even though you are building an economy. Let us stop being in denial. We cannot artificially hold up currencies. The only way the Naira is going to be strong is for us to pump more dollars into that system. So we either deplete reserves or wait for oil prices to go up or allow the Naira to find its level. The government does not have a choice. It has to increase taxes, it has to cut spending. It simply does not have the balance sheet to grow. But the central bank has a choice. And we must make use of that opportunity, try and minimize the damage to GDP growth. At this point, the focus has to be the real economy. And if you have to make a choice between real economic growth and a devaluation, my recommendation is that we protect growth. We are not the only game in town. I speak as a friend who wants this government to succeed. I speak as one who has a stake in the success of this administration, having fought hard and having made sacrifices to change what I thought needed to be changed. The only thing we can do is help those who are there to actually make the change that we need. Thank you. You know, one of the things we need to do is to have an incentive system where good deeds are rewarded and bad ones are appropriately sanctioned. And once in a while, it helps to recognize work that's done. It helps to put up role models for the young. It helps to do something that says to people, you know, the world is watching and you're not alone in this. There are times when you go through life and you go through some very difficult periods and you almost feel, are you alone in this? I mean, does everybody else see this? And in a sense, when the world says this is something they appreciate, it kind of validates your own position and encourages you to go on doing the right thing.